Chapter 1-5. There are two major ways to obtain Digimon in the digital world. One way is by using tools in their full capacity to capture Digimon. The other is by collecting Digimon eggs, known as Digi-Eggs. Although these Digi-Eggs are in the shape of eggs, they are different from the eggs of birds or fish. Let's start off with this. The current accepted explanation is that Digimon do not have gender. They are neither male nor female. This leads to the question of, in that case, how are Digimon born? The current theory for this is that they are born from Digi-Eggs. When a Digimon dies, it leaves behind data that could be called its soul. This data remnant is then reborn somewhere in the digital world as a new Digi-Egg. It may sound like the circle of reincarnation, but there is much that is unknown about the Digimon's way of life. Humanity still understood only mere fragments of the digital world. It was a long, long night. Dusk seemed to go on eternally in the twilight sky. But no, what looked like the sky was actually the net ocean, and what looked like clouds were the waves of the interweb. The shooting stars were streams of information. It was like being at the very bottom of the ocean floor. The shimmering pale light illuminating the ground came from the real world located far above the ocean surface. The world of the network was both brilliant and beautiful. But any world that is inhabited by living creatures grows to be, without exception, somehow broken and stagnant. Rain. The color of rust iron spattered down. And the wind smelled of blood. Sewage water, rich with the pungent smell of chemicals, bubbled up as it was swept away by the rain. It was more than just a drainage ditch. It was a blockaded city, where mine pollution flowed. The flow, leaving a trail of strange fluorescent colors that glowed in places, and unidentifiable garbage data that chipped away at the seawall, as it spewed out of the fenced-in estuary. Why was there a flow in the digital world? The flow of time, the flow of matter, and the flow of natural phenomena such as weather. Why is that? Why was there this mountain of garbage that was so obviously remnants brought about by a living society? According to one theory, contact with the real world, and thus human society, through the network brought about an enormous diversity of data and wide circulation throughout the digital world. If that was true, it would be like how the Europeans, when they had discovered a new continent, brought pathogens with them and destroyed the local empires. It would be like the plot of a science fiction suspense movie, where interstellar travel was possible and an unknown bacterium attached to the homecoming spacecraft caused a terrible crisis on the home planet. It would mean that contact between mankind and the digital world had forever changed this other world and the creatures living in it. Was that a good thing or a bad thing? Nobody knew. After all, it wasn't the police's job to neatly draw a line between what was right from wrong. These areas contained the secret and furtive agendas of many minds. A wireframe schematic appeared on our heads-up virtual monitor. The Last Coast. No one knew how it had gotten the name, but it was the name of the beach with red iron sand. Digi-Eggs that washed up in the flow of garbage data often ended up here. Some poachers took advantage of that.
Deputy Squad Leader, we have suspicious Digimon in sight.
The voice chat through the police radio said. Several red dots flashed across our virtual monitor on the estuary area of the map. They were unidentified Digimon.
This is Tamahime. Continue the search.
She borrowed the eye of her Digimon, which stuck out from the river's surface like a periscope.
Detailed search is underway.
Her voice chat replied.
Esprimon. Child level. Cyborg type. Virus species.
Got it. Looks like a tin can toy.
The Digimon's appearance was hard to describe, and definitely going to be damn difficult to report for her records later. At quick glance, it looked like it could be a toy from one of those retro comedy robot shows that were popular in the Showa era. It was like an upside-down snowman, with the head bigger than the body. It had manipulator arms and its legs were simply rocket-propelled nozzles.
I count 4.
Ooh, they must be code crackers.
She hissed.
The 4 of them all are bots, those assholes.
She clicked her tongue. The word bots was a police slang for a Digimon that was automatically controlled by tools.
This Digimon has been pretty popular among the code crackers lately.
Came the voice of one of her men through the voice chat.
Yeah, cyborg Digimon work well with tools. It's a good beginner's choice.
It was a common code cracker technique to implement AI tools on a Digimon, and let those Digimon run through the digital world to search within certain areas and collect data that the code cracker was looking for. If this were a real-world server, they would be targeting corporate secrets and personal information. But in this remote part of the digital world, there was only one thing that code crackers wanted to make money off of.
Hey, how many Digi-Eggs did you get?
Only 1 so far.
The police eavesdropped on their devices, picking up the grim voice chat conversation among the code crackers. Their voices sounded young. There was no evidence of a voice changer in use.
Their voice chat is fully leaked. Are they amateurs?
The Digimon were bots, but the code crackers controlling them were also logged into the internet. They must have felt like they were playing an online game.
What shall we do, Deputy Squad Leader?
Her men were controlling the Digimon through docks and tools, just like the code crackers. Their view of this rusty coast in the digital world could only be observed in the form of schematic diagrams and numbers on their virtual monitors. They couldn't directly see it or smell it. They knew, but they didn't understand. Those were the words of a famous scholar from somewhere. The only one who knew, and who was physically here, was Deputy Squad Leader Satsuki Tamahime. She used a tool to block more than 99% of her olfactory senses. Satsuki's Digimon actually loved poor environments like this rusty iron beach, but it wasn't for her.
Police can't just pick and choose their criminals, so arrest them all.
More than 10 green dots suddenly disappeared on the virtual monitor schematic. The code cracker's SBmon had long been surrounded by Satsuki and her team.
Jam their voice chat.
She continued.
The Commandramon squads will break off into 2 and overpower the targets from both sides.
Roger.
The SBmon did not notice them. The code crackers couldn't see them in the first place, and they probably didn't even know what sort of place their Digimon were in right now. The only thing they could see was the crude LCD screen of their Digimon docks in hand. That's why they weren't alerted to what was going on. But Satsuki could see them, as they actually were, with all 5 of her senses. She was one of the people who had broken the constraints.
How dare you come here, you goddamn poachers!
Their voice chat was jammed, followed by this warning. Upon hearing that beautiful feminine voice echo in the background, the SBmon finally noticed their presence. The Digimon of Satsuki's men, who had been quietly scuttling around them, stood up at that voice and surrounded the poachers. Commandramon. Child level. Cyborg type. Virus species. The Commandramon were equipped with police regulation attire. They looked like humanoid dragons or lizard men in appearance. They wore body armor and a helmet with police written on the front as they carried assault rifles. The Commandramon had a special textured surface added onto their bodies, which allowed them to turn on electronic warfare camouflage or themselves based on their surroundings. This was how they could approach their enemy undetected.
Found the Digi-Egg!
The Commandramon secured the poached Digi-Egg. The code cracker's tools and everything else were secured. All that remained now was to round up the actual code crackers themselves to finish the job. Nothing more to say after that.
Oh no, the police? It's the DigiPolice shit!
The code crackers finally caught on to what was happening, but could do nothing more than grumble in the voice chat. Satsuki announced the current time of the arrest and the charges.
You've been caught red-handed. Come quietly or else. Just so you know, there's no point trying to escape. We've got your identities. Oh, and don't underestimate the police. We have your names and the schools you attend.
The annoying thing about it was that the code crackers were apparently high school students. As minors, they could be taken into custody, but they wouldn't be officially arrested. One of their seniors was probably a bad influence, and urged them to become code crackers for profit. This kind of thing happened all the time.
We're arrested? On what charges?
A high schooler said.
We've done nothing wrong.
You violated the Unauthorized Computer Access Prevention Act, the Basic Network Act, and the Digital Vandalism Prevention Act. In other words, you're guilty of poaching digi-eggs, you dumb shit.
Satsuki spoke bluntly.
But this is the digital world.
They protested. It's not a country. Why are the Japanese police getting involved? I see. The code cracker kid had some knowledge, so they weren't going down without a fight. Satsuki took a deep breath, her voice dropping in tone to one of thick tension.
You think you're free to do whatever you want in the network and in the digital world. That's the Cracker Team's philosophy, isn't it? You bring up a big topic, but since what you're talking about is trash anyway, go say that shit on your social media. I'll knock your teeth out, you shitty code cracker.
Satsuki's Digimon, which had been hiding underwater with only its eyeballs protruding from the surface, appeared in full form, like a submarine.
Luma!
The red lights of the police siren flashed. Seeing that Digimon with their horrible moaning and slimy intensity made the code cracker's SBmon tremble. Satsuki's Digimon was.
Unplug your ears and listen up, fuckers. In the end, your identity is that you're all Japanese citizens. And as long as you're involved in illegal activities, the Japanese police are gonna get you and call up your guardians, you assholes. Hey, don't move!
Vanish!
The SBmon suddenly disappeared. One after another, the Commandermon lost sight of their targets at the end of their muzzles. It was vanishing magic. As soon as the SBmon pressed the button on their belly buttons, they melted into the red seaside background.
Optical camouflage? Those cheeky bitches!
It was an invisibility cloak. There was a volley of bullets. The Commandermon all fired their assault rifles at the same time. It was the firepower of an entire squad. The SBmon, however, in camouflage and outmatched by Commandermon, managed to slip past the police circle. This was thanks to the Digimon's AI's built-in self-defense function, rather than any code cracker's ability.
Mechanorimon!
As soon as Satsuki gave the order, two more Digimon appeared behind her, shedding their camouflage. Mechanorimon. Machine type. Adult level. Virus species. This Digimon was larger than SBmon and Commandermon. In terms of power, it was about 3 to 4 meters tall. Its body color was white, and it looked like a robot. A humanoid power suit with long arms. While Digimon were classified as police equipment, the Mechanorimon were classified as special purpose vehicles. Inside each of them was a dedicated Commandermon who was in charge of piloting the vehicle. The Mechanorimon's single eye glared as it probed the area. Because the Mechanorimon were equipped with powerful detectors, sensors, and other electronic warfare equipment, they could serve as field command vehicles. An optical weapon emitted from the linear lens, embedded in the Mechanorimon's body.
Twinkle beam.
With a flurry of sparks, the optical camouflage of one SBmon dissolved as it fell with a thump onto the beach in a scattering of iron sand. The 3 remaining red dots on the virtual monitor faded fast as they broke up running.
Don't let them get away! Shoot!
We're charging up for the next round. We can't catch all of them.
Just as Satsuki and her subordinate aboard the Mechanorimon said this,
Party impulse!
a bolt of lightning pierced the rest of the sky, followed by a thunderclap. Satsuki didn't react to this right away, taken aback by this unexpected event.
Huh? The SBmon.
The police radio blared. The remaining SBmon, blackened, crashed to the ground in wreckage one after the other. The lightning bolt had struck them simultaneously and with great precision. Who had done it? Satsuki looked at the new indicator that had appeared on her heads-up virtual monitor. It was just standing there, seemingly unperturbed, on top of the deactivated Espimon. It looked like the legendary beast of thunder.
Is that Pulsemon?
Pulsemon. Child level. Beast type. Vaccine species.
Known as Lightning Bolt, it was difficult to even catch sight of this Digimon as he moved at high-speed zigzag patterns. Could it be another code cracker? The Commandramon squad readied their guns.
The only one who uses Pulsemon is...
Satsuki said slowly. She knew his name all too well.
As far as the police know, it can only be one. He's a hacker.
Deputy Squad Leader, your orders?
It's that hacker, Judge!
Pulsemon glanced at Satsuki's Digimon.
You're too soft.
Pulsemon said.
Deputy Squad Leader of the DigiPolice.
With a smile and a blowing kiss, he sped off immediately like a lightning bolt into the sea of networks.
What the...
Satsuki sputtered.
Oh, that pisses me off.
Deputy Leader!
The Commandramon squad insisted on instructions. Satsuki shook internally with anger at being ridiculed, but remembering her position as a field commander and managed to maintain her composure.
We've got the Espimon under control, and the poached Digi-Egg is secured. We'll let jurisdiction handle the rest in the real world.
But that Pulsemon...
Leave that hacker jerk alone. We can't catch up to him anyway. He's also...
Satsuki sulked. Pulsemon and the hacker that Pulsemon was linked with was the same as Satsuki. They had broken through the constraints as well.
Copy that, Deputy Squad Leader.
Sorry, we're going over the K-line. If we exceed the time limit, Squad Leader will nag about it and we'll get penalized with a pay cut.
Yeah, of course. After you. But what about the Digi-Egg?
The subordinate reported quickly.
Huh?
Satsuki could feel her mood drop to uncontrollable levels. The Digi-Egg that had been lying on the beach earlier was gone. The one who had snatched it away, of course, had been like a bolt of lightning.
Pulsemon. Oh, hacker judge! Give me back my evidence! God damn it!